नमस्कार दोस्तों, वेलकम टू bizbotany। आज हम पढ़ेंगे पार्ट्स ऑफ द फ्लावर्स। यूजुअली फ्लावर कंसिस्ट ऑफ फोर whorls। They are nothing but a calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. Here, this green part, first we need to understand about a calyx. Calyx of the flower. Consider this is a hibiscus flower which consist of all the four appendages of the flower. They are nothing but this part we are calling it as a calyx. This one is a corolla. These are the androecium part, androecium, and this one is a gynoecium. Complete stamen and filament we call it as a androecium, and this one female reproductive structures we call it as a gynoecium parts. First we need to understand about a calyx, that is a part of flower. Calyx is a outermost whorl present in the flowers. This green part is nothing but a calyx. This is a outermost whorl present in the flowers. This is usually a green leaf-like structures. It is a green leaf-like structures that will helping for the flower to protect during the bud stage. Bud stage of flowers, these calyx are helping to protect the flower. And if the we commonly call calyx as the sepals. What we are calling calyx as a sepals. Okay. If the sepals are united like these structures, if the sepals are united like this, we call it as a gamopetalous. Gamopetalous. If the calyx are free like this, okay, each calyx is free. If the calyx are free, we call them as a polypetals. Polypetals. Okay. Second part of the flower is nothing but a corolla. Corolla. We commonly call corolla as a petals. Okay. The colored part of the flowers. The colored part of the flowers we call it as a petals or corolla. Usually this region, okay, this part of the flower is brightly colored, that will help to attract the insect for a pollination process. This colored part of the flower will help to attract the insects for the pollinations. Here also same thing will be present just like in sepals. If the petals are free, if the petals are fused, just like this, if the petals are fused, we call it as a gamopetalous. If the petals are free, like this, we call it as a polypetalous. If the petals are fused, we calling it as a gamopetalous. If the petals are free, we are calling it as a polypetalous. After studying calyx and corolla, we need to understand the aestivation. Then what is aestivation? Aestivation is nothing but a mode of arrangement of sepals or petals in floral buds with respect to the member of same whorl. Same whorls nothing but a sepals or petals. Arrangement of sepals and petals in a floral bud with respect to the same whorls nothing but a sepals and petals with respect to the same sepals and petals which are present in the same whorl. In that we have four types. First one is a valvate type of aestivation. What is valvate type of aestivations? when sepals or petals in whorls just touch one another at the margin without overlappings. Here for that we have a example calotropis. In calotropis, the arrangement of sepals and petals is like that. They are arranged in a whorls just touch one another at the margins. Here these petals are touching with one another at the margin region only without overlapping. यहाँ पर कौन सा भी ओवरलैपिंग नहीं देखने को मिलेगा. पेटल्स और सेपल्स जस्ट मार्जिन्स के अंदर, मार्जिन्स नथिंग बट द लास्ट पोर्शन ऑफ द petals, they are touching with each other without overlapping. Such type of aestivation we call it as a valvate type of aestivations. Next one is a twisted aestivation. What happening here? If one margin of appendages overlaps that of the next one, such type of aestivation we call it as a twisted one. For example, in China rose. In China rose, you can see the twisted type of aestivation. Here, petals are overlapped with one another in a particular directions. Here you can see this is a first petal, and second petal is overlapped on the first petal. And third type of aestivation is imbricate aestivation. What happening in imbricate aestivation? If the margin of sepals or petals overlap one another but not in any particular directions. Here you can see the sepals or petals are arranged or overlapped one another at the margin regions but not in a particular direction. This one is, these all are the sepals or petals which are arranged or overlapped at the margin regions to one another बट नॉट इन अ पर्टिकुलर डायरेक्शन. ऐसा एक तरफ कौन सा भी नहीं देखने को मिलेगा. ओवरलैपिंग एक तरफ है क्या? ऐसा नहीं. पर्टिकुलर डायरेक्शन के अंदर ओवरलैपिंग नहीं है बोले तो हम वैसा एस्टिवेशन को हम क्या कहेंगे? इम्ब्रिकेट टाइप ऑफ एस्टिवेशन बोलेंगे. द मार्जिन ऑफ सेपल्स और पेटल्स ओवरलैप वन अनदर बट नॉट इन एनी पर्टिकुलर डायरेक्शंस. सच टाइप ऑफ एस्टिवेशन we calling it as a imbricate aestivation. Best example for imbricate aestivation which is present in the flower is nothing but a cassia flower. Last final one is a vexillary aestivation. What happening in a pea flowers? In a pea plants, particularly in the flowers of the pea, there are 5 petals will be present. This one is the first petal, largest one. These are the second and third. These are the fourth and 5. There are 5 petals will be present in a pea plants. The largest overlap the 2 lateral petals. This one is the largest one. It will be overlap 2 lateral petals. These are the 2 lateral petals. This largest one is overlapping a lateral petals, which in turn overlap the 2 smallest anterior petals. These are the 2 anterior petals of the pea flower. These lateral petals are overlapping the anterior petals. Such type of aestivation we are calling it as a axillary aestivation, which will be seen in a pea plants. These are the 4 type of aestivation which are present in the flower and other parts of the flowers, that is nothing but a androecium and gynoecium will be discussed in a next video. Thank you everybody.